love him very much. And so let's welcome Dennis Alstrand.
Oh, sure. Hi, everybody. Hi. I was just sitting here thinking that, especially after hearing Lucinda talk so passionately, that I'm probably the perfect guy to give this talk. My passion, my purpose, but also the real title is To Percolate Your Purpose with Passion. Soundmen got to hate all those on the microphone. Percolate your purpose with passion. Somewhere in the notes I read that you want to bubble up your passion into your purpose. But I thought bubble up your passion really worked for me. Like you're bubbling up into a glass of champagne, you know, it just feels good to do. So that became my go-to phrase while getting ready to stand up here today. Find your purpose, bubble it up with passion. But you might be going, Dennis, why should we do this? Actually, there's a number of reasons to do it that I found out while getting ready to stand here. One is it's life-changing. You bring in passion into things that you do. It's soul-cleansing and enriching. And sometimes people like being around passionate people, you know. Another thing is that also occurred to me is that when we do our treatment, that's where we visualize what we want and we clarify it. If you do it with passion, it's going to go out much more clearly into the law than, I want to have a red Volkswagen. It won't work as well. Be like, I want a red Volkswagen. That's going to work. From the notes from Science of Mind about today, activating our inner sense of joy becomes our purpose. The two are combined to benefit and even contribute, get this, to the expansion of the universe, no less. We are science-based teaching, as our name implies, and there's a direct link, absolutely, in that what we think about, we bring about. We're talking about our universe and how we expand our universe with our passion. And what I've found, I've noticed this whenever I'm asked to come and give a talk, it's about something and maybe that I'm not really good at, which is perfect. So I have to go learn about it. And in this case, this was a real learning experience for me. I'd like to tell a couple stories to exemplify this thing. I don't remember what order they're in, but I'm the head of a large Special Olympics group, and we were on a trip to Oahu a month ago or so. And one of the athletes had broken the cardinal rule, which was to take off without letting your chaperone know where you are. So I let him have it. He broke the rules, you know. And he goes, can we go talk on the side somewhere? And I was like, sure. I'm open to it. And he gave a real good discussion and argument about why he did what he did. And I was thinking, okay, I go along with that. I think what he did was all right, you know. And he goes, I was really terrified to talk to you about this. I went, why? He goes, because you got a poker face. You got a deadpan face, and I don't know what you're thinking. I don't know, like maybe you're going to destroy me or something. I went, oh. Maybe I do. Then, somewhere around that time, I sang the song Daniel by Elton John here. And I was singing it for my brother, who, though he's my younger brother, he really feels like he's older than me. He's had a hard life. He's had a rough life. And as I sang the song, he came and he was in my vision and my spirit, and I felt very emotional about it, almost to the point of tears. Not long after that, I was sitting with Rev Bev in the office. She's going, you got to take a song, and you got to fill it with passion. And I went, I thought I did. She goes, no, you got to take a song and fill it with passion. Find a song that really brings out your passion. So I went and watched the video of me singing Daniel, and sure enough, though I felt this passion, my face wasn't showing it. My face was kind of wooden. I was like, Daniel, my brother. I went, oh, so this is what it's all about. What I realized was that since I retired, I'd kind of just started laying back into things. I still do a lot of stuff. I'm involved in all these organizations, especially Special Olympics. But I'd kind of just let the passion go, I feel. I wasn't really getting into everything that I was doing like I used to do. So this was my road back into passion, bubbling up like a glass of champagne. We have a choice about what our purpose and passion is. And one of the things we're doing today is to try to determine what our passion is. Lucinda, you found yours at a very young age. Mine was, I want to be a baseball player, but never quite made that one. But we have a choice about what our purpose and passion is. And we also have a choice about how we fill our mind with stuff coming from the outside. We have many choices in what we direct our attention to, and often we just go along with a daily diet of news and social media. That's where it leads to a malnourished spirit at times. We go along with a daily diet of news and social media. Our choice, we choose our news. This can distract us and override the vibrations that we're wanting to manifest by becoming aware of what we give our attention to or making a conscious first step. Wow. Get out of here. Page one down. So the question might be, like as for myself, what are my passions right now? What is my purposes right now? And am I filling them with passion? The question might be asked by all of us or many of us. I don't know. What are my purposes? So I thought about it and I did some thinking and I went through some avenues and roads, how to break it down to just a couple things. What are our passions? And one of the things that came to mind was to ask people what their passions are. Maybe that they would give you an answer back with such passion that it would fill our passion. That old champagne glass could be popping again. You got it. Thank you. Or maybe a can of Bud Light. A friend of mine named Mary Squires grew up in Liverpool, still lives across the world from there. And she was there in the days of the Beatles, but never was able to see them because her parents, no one's going to go see those long-haired louts, that kind of thing, right? Here's what she wrote to me. I go to the Cavern Club, which is where the Beatles played, I think, 292 times, something like that, before they made it famous in Liverpool, a little dive of a cellar. She goes there often and loves to see the visitors who just want to see this famous club once in their lifetime. And I just hop on the bus and I'm there in 30 minutes. Liverpool sites that have Beatles connections I enjoy too sometimes. Sometimes I surprise myself on how much I know, especially places that have been demolished. And there are no more. Sad, but at least I knew them as a teenager. I then turned to one of the more passionate people I know by the name of Alyssa Corey. You know what, when she's talking, you can feel it on her. Quite seriously. She says, just causes. Just causes. Romantic intrigue. I'd expected that would be in there. Spiritual seeking and continuing education. But in all these things sparked my love of music, and singing is my highest passion. So I got to thinking a little bit more about this, how to find our passion, our purpose. And what occurred to me was to make this simple, instead of like a list of 9 things, or this, blah, 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 blah. One more thing. Think of, and I invite you to do this too during your spare time, think of what a perfect day would be for you. And the idea is that you might start like I did, which was slightly on the mundane side, and then start building up, going, wow, I got some cool stuff that's going to happen in this day. And this was the day that I came up with. I'm just going to wake up in a warm bed next to my lovely wife, and I'm going to enjoy it right from the start. I'm going to feel a little passion about my day today. And one of the reasons why I'm feeling passionate, and by the way, the rule for this is there are no rules. People that are dead could be alive again. George Harrison and John Lennon are still alive, and they both call me up and they go, we're not dead, you know. The Beatles are playing right next door to you today. So they're going to have a jam session next door. And just like they did last year when they all came over, Paul McCartney's going to be trying to remember the bass line to come together, and I'm going to have to show him how to do it. Here you go, Paul. This is how you do it. Boom, 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 boom. I'm going to take a walk down our country road, and it's going to be one of those perfect freaking days. Those days where you go, this is just beautiful. I'm going to get down at the end of the road, and instead of having to drive an hour to Special Olympics practice, there it is right there, a mere 15-minute walk away. And if you want to know about passionate people, just go to a Special Olympics practice. That is fun. It's filled with passion and purpose. People know why they're there, and they're having a great time. So that's how that part of the day goes. As the day goes on, it's a brilliant day full of people that I'm meeting, people that I'm talking to. And then somewhere during that day, I go and give a talk. I give this talk to this Center for Spiritual Living. And maybe one person goes, you know what, that is pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I feel the passion building up in me too. So there's my perfect day. And I invite you to think about yours. Just let anything happen. Like I said, dead people can come back. It's okay. It led to that last thought I just gave, which led to my passion about getting ready for this talk and standing here today with you all. Other things you can do to identify hidden passions. Sometimes we've gone through our life, we were passionate about something as a child, but then we go through our life and we have kids and or whatever, not have kids, whatever, but we go through our life and we kind of forget these things that we were. Like, look back to our childhood. What was something that I really loved? Again, mine was being a baseball player, but reading about how life is in the minor leagues, I'm kind of glad that purpose didn't take place. What is something that you do that when you do it, time just flies? Like, man, that was an hour? All right. What is something that you do and that when you do it, you just feel like all is right with the world? Like, this is a good world. I feel good about this. So, the road that I took to get here was one that was full of bubbling thoughts. One of the things that happened to me yesterday, again, back to my Special Olympics, every week I talk to the whole group. There's like 40 or 50 of us. And I thought about that. I've been kind of worried about it. Am I getting my point across okay? Am I making it clear enough? And I went, heck with that, man. I've been doing this for 20 years. I know how to do this. I've been speaking with my Special Olympics group for a long time. And so as I got ready to give the talk, we're going to be going to Oahu next week. Everybody knows, but I want to ask you all again, what time should you be at the airport? They're all like, 5 o'clock. I went, 5 in the evening? No, 5 in the morning. And I tried this old trick of mine where I go, I'm trying to read something here, but there's nothing on this paper. Your paper's upside down. So I really got into all my old tricks. It turned out to be a fun talk, and everyone got into it, and the message got across. It was very clear. I want to close with a couple quotes. One is by Howard Thurman. It starts off a little bit like JFK, ask not, but don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive and go do it. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive. What the world needs is people who have come alive. I like that one, man. I like that. And I like this one, too, by Abraham Hicks. See this world as a free world. And see everyone in it as trying through their individual experiences to find their way back to that calling. Back to that source energy. And the final quote is from Ernest Holmes. I almost said Ernest Tubbs, country western fans. She got that one, all right. I'm walking the floor over, okay. I'm not letting Ernest Tubbs go. Ernest Holmes, come on back. Okay, here you are. And he says, you are a spontaneous, self-choosing center in life, in the great drama of being, the great joy of becoming, the certainty of external expansion. Thank you, Ernest. Percolating passion with purpose really has worked for me. I think it works for most of you too. But think about some of the things I mentioned. Go through your perfect day. Think about things that were big to you as a child. Are they still big for you now? Are they in there bubbling and ready to come out like that glass of champagne? I've found that it really works, and I very much appreciate you all listening to me for these last 15, 20 minutes. Thank you very much.